The green side of Glasgow has been dominating Scottish football for a while now. Celtic win the majority of the trophies every single season. But today we're going to talk about a trophy that Celtic don't always win and a trophy that Celtic are currently not winning, and that is the transfer window so far trophy. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. And why the hell not? There's pretty much no news at the moment. Scotland are shite. We got knocked out the Euros. It's been done for 2 weeks. Not a lot's happening in the world of football right now, especially if you're from Scotland. We're waiting on the season to begin. We're waiting on the Europa League, Europa Conference League qualifiers to begin. So yeah, right now, the only thing we have is the transfer market. And unfortunately, not a lot is happening in that either. But today, we're going to look at all 12 Scottish Premiership clubs. Edinburgh Evening News has compiled a list, so shout out to them. They have the 12 clubs, and I believe they've got them in order from first, and that would be the club with the least amount of transfers, down to 12th, the club with the most amount of transfers. Now, just because you make the most amount of transfers, it doesn't necessarily mean that you've had a good window. For example, I mean, you could bring in 15 players. If 14 of them are shite, then does it really matter? Has it really been good? Probably not. But at the same time, you have to sign players in order to get good players. If you make 10 signings, then yes, there's a possibility all 10 might be shite. But if you make no signings, then you've got no chance of bringing anyone good in. So, yeah, let's look at it. I'd rather my team be active than inactive, but we're going to look at the list. So, with that said, let's get into it. And up first, we have Celtic with no signings. So, it's not often we see this number 0 associated with Celtic. We never really see Celtic score no goals. We never really see Celtic collect no points. They're always winning trophies. Yeah, the only time we really see the number 0 next to Celtic is when they're playing in the Champions League. But here we see it right here, right now. And in my opinion, there's no excuse for it because they do need to bring in players. Some people will argue that they won the league, that they've got the best squad in Scotland, and that's fair enough, but still, they need to improve. Joe Hart announced his retirement a long time ago. They've known he's going to be leaving. He's left. What have they done? They've done nothing. You look at the winger situation outside of James Forrest, who had a decent spell last year, but let's be honest, he's James Forrest. He's getting old. He's not the guy that you want to be relying on. Celtic have got nobody. Palmer, shite. Yang, shite. Kuhn, shite. And whoever else they've got out there, shite. So there's definitely players that Celtic needed to bring in. They need a goalkeeper. They probably need a winger. They need a backup to Kyogo. They might need a new midfielder to replace O'Reilly. They could probably do with another centre-back to partner with Carter Vickers. And every single season they're talking about replacing Greg Taylor. So there's definitely positions where Celtic could improve. But for some reason, they haven't done anything. They've got the most money in Scotland. They're in the Champions League. They should be building and strengthening that team for the group stages. They've got this apparent war chest, and we haven't seen it. We don't get to see it. Why not? I'm sure that Celtic will make signings, but it is a bit poor. They've got the USA summer camp coming up soon. Fans want to see their new players in action. Fans want to get excited about players that are coming in. How does this excite anybody? They haven't done anything yet. Brendan Rodgers is sitting waiting there. And this can't be what he was promised. Coming back to Celtic, talking about getting funds this time, going to be back this time. Doesn't look like he's been backed. In fact, Celtic are backing themselves into a corner here. I think that they will sign players, but you would rather go out and get those players in soon. Maybe they're waiting on the Euros finishing. I will give them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, it's disappointing. And I know a lot of Celtic fans aren't happy, but we'll see by the end of the window what they've done. Right, let's move on to Kilmarnock. So they have brought in Bruce Anderson for Livingston and Stuart Finlay, former Kilmarnock player from Oxford United loan. Or is he going out on loan? I'm not even sure. He might be going out on loan. I'm going to assume, is he going out on loan? Or is he coming in on loan? Because I know he played for Kilmarnock. I think he's went out on loan. But anyway, I think that Bruce Anderson will be a decent signing. He impressed me at Livingston. You know, he was getting goals for a really awful Livingston team. So I would have to imagine that he will do a decent job there. So I think that's a good appointment for Kelly. Kelly, though, I think they've got a decent team. Now, yes, going into Europe, they would like to strengthen it a little bit, but I think the main thing for Kelly is if they don't lose their team, if they can keep the majority of their players, then I think they'll do a good job. And I'm pretty sure that, yeah, Stuart Finlay is again on loan to Kilmarnock, but don't quote me on that. Up next, we have Aberdeen. They've made 3 signings. Peter Ambrose has come in. Dimitar Mitov has come in for St Johnstone. That's a good signing. And Gavin Molly from Shelbourne. So, Aberdeen, we'll see how they get on. I think Mitov is a good replacement for Kel Roos. And yeah, I think Mitov will be a really good goalkeeper for Aberdeen. But I still think they need more outfield players. 3 so far. Now, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They didn't get their new manager until, early June. So, you can kind of understand why maybe Aberdeen haven't made that many deals so far, but still, I expect that number to go up relatively soon. Up next, we have Hibernian. They brought in 3 players as well. You got Joseph Bursick on loan, Marvin Ekpititita on loan, and Warren O'Hara from MK Dons. I don't know if I'm supposed to know any of these players, but I don't. So there you go. Hibs have brought some people in. Good for them. Have they Hibsed it? We'll have to wait and see. Let's move on to the next team. Who's it going to be? It is Dundee with 4 players. Ethan Ingram's come in, John McCracken, Palmer Hoodens came in, and Clark Robertson. Not really familiar with any of these guys. We'll see if they're doing a good job or not. We'll see if they turn out to be decent or not. Ross County in 6th place. They've made 5 signings in total. You got Jack Hamilton in there, Ricky Lamy in there, Charlie Telfer in there for Airdrieonians. We've got Will Nightingale as well, and Akil Wright. So, obviously, I know Ricky Lamy, I know Jack Hamilton, I know Charlie Telfer. Not too familiar with the other 2, but yeah, we'll see. Ross County, they're making 5 signings. St Mirren, another 5 signings. They've got Balcom coming in, Jaded Brown, Roland Adue, Sean Rooney. I think Sean Rooney will be a great signing for St Mirren. I was very impressed with Sean Rooney when he was at St Johnstone. Obviously, he won the Cup double there, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do at St Mirren. Expecting big things, and he'll get some European football, which I'm sure he will enjoy. Up next, we have St Johnstone with 6 signings. Probably the most noticeable one would be Ikepesu, the former Hearts man in there, coming from Port Vale. But they've also brought in some other players for Scotland, including Josh McPake, Josh Ray, and Jack Sanders for Kilmarnock. So, yeah, St Johnstone making 6 signings. Mr. Craig Levine. Wonder if he plans on going 6-4-0. Making 6 defensive signings. Right, what else have we got? We've got Jim Goodwin in there in 9th place. He's also made 6 signings. I think the Ryan Strain appointment will be good, or I say appointment, a signing, whatever, from St Mirren. I think that will be a good bit of business for Dundee United. Other than that, not really familiar with any of these players that they've brought in, but at least they've been busy. Rangers have brought in 6 players as well. You got Connor Barron in there, Oscar Cortez, Igamane, Hefty, Liam Kelly, and Clinton Nasila from AC Milan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, Rangers so far brought in 6. I believe Clement wants to bring in more, but he was speaking about the next group of players, the next set of players that he brings in will be more experienced. 11th place, we've got Hearts with 6 players. They brought in Drame, Danda, Fulton, Oigoke, Penrice, Blair Spittle. I'm happy with Blair Spittle. I'm happy with Jan Danda. 2 players I think are good. James Penrice as well, I'm pretty impressed with. So, I'm not really familiar with the foreign players, but we'll see what they can do at Hearts, obviously. European football, pushing for further again, hopefully win a trophy. And Motherwell. So far, they've been the team that's been making the most signings, making the most moves. You've got Kofi Balmer in there, Ross Callaghan, Liam Gordon. Who else? We've got Zach Robinson for Wimbledon, and that's probably... there's other players, of course, but I think the one for me that stands out here is Liam Gordon. Again, another important player that was a part of that St Johnstone Cup double winning side, and I think he will do good things at Motherwell. So, Motherwell leading the way with 9 signings. So Motherwell right now are beating Celtic 9-0. Enjoy it while it lasts, Steelmen, because it's probably not going to happen on the pitch. But yeah, in terms of transfers, it's Motherwell 9, Celtic 0. Kind of crazy. When will Celtic make the first transfer? Will it happen soon? I would imagine. I would imagine not, to be honest. I think if they don't make a signing before they jet out to America, then they probably won't till they get back. So, I mean, it could be a few weeks before we see Celtic make some signings, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, that's it. Not a lot of news here, so quick update on the players that have come in so far. Can't wait for the new season as always. I mean, it was nice to see Scotland in the Euros, but let's be honest, guys, it fucking tanked. We flopped, and yeah, it was disappointing in the end. You know, we wait so long for this. We've had 2 major tournaments now in 3 years, and they've both absolutely sucked. Hopefully, next time we qualify, we can do something. And then I won't have to make shit vids like this. You know, if Scotland were still in the Euros, I'd be talking about them going into the final and whooping somebody's arse and coming home with a trophy and talking about Braveheart and William Wallace. But instead, I'm stuck talking about this crap because there's nothing else to talk about. So yeah, there you go. Catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.